It's Deprogrammed, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. This week's band is Jawbreaker. Yes, you heard that correctly. Jawbreaker, like the candy. And if you've been eating too much candy because of the, the quarantine and whatnot, you got to get in tip-top physical. And the best way to do that is the Hard Work Works fitness app. That's right. Hard Work Works fitness app. You go to your app store, whichever one you have. You download the app for free. You get 2 free weeks to check out what Coach Joe can do for you. He's going to give you 3 workouts a week, and you're going to get in the best shape of your life. Hashtag join the hustle. There's so much more to it, but I highly recommend going and checking out the app and seeing if it's something that can help you get in the best shape of your life. Hashtag join the hustle. Hard Work Works fitness app. Today we are talking about Jawbreaker, and this is one of the few times where I can't remember where the band came from. I can't tell if this is one of the very, very few bands that John F. didn't bring up but is on, or if this was one of the massive list that John gave me and Elena jumped on. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, this is one from my list.
Okay. So let's start with you, John. Let's talk to me about Jawbreaker. What is it about Jawbreaker? Why are we doing this today?
Because they're one of the most legendary punk rock bands of all time, man. Like, they started in 88, 89, put out 3 classic records and 1 that's debatable, which we'll talk about. But yeah, like, they're just one of those bands. It's like a rite of passage for every kid into like punk rock or underground music. Like, you can always remember the first time that you heard Jawbreaker.
But that being said, I think Chris, you jumped on next because there was like an S-ton of bands that John put out that you were like, oh yeah, let me in on that one. So why are you here today, Chris?
Kind of the same thing. I mean, it's one of the bands so the band I'm in now, Dead Love Alive, it's all like 4 of us have been hanging out since like the late 90s. And this is one of the first bands that we all kind of coalesced around. First show I ever went to was NoFX, listened to Jawbreaker on the way home. And I was like, these guys are way better than NoFX. So, and, but it's, John's right. I mean, they're classic. They have some kind of signature musical things that they'll do. Like, we talked Sunday about Jets to Brazil, and they kind of have their own thing, but Jawbreaker has kind of this signature dissonant sound that they can kind of roll into that creates this gigantic swell. So it's one of those things where throughout a song you can get real amped out of nowhere. But yeah, it's one of my favorite bands of all time. We're definitely going to argue about the debatable one, but fuck it. Listen to what you want,
That's right.
They kind of started that like hard on your sleeves, kind of genuine, like down to earth punk rock style. It's not like 3 chords, Sex Pistols style. It's a little more sensitive and a little more, I hate to say emo, but it is a little bit of that. And like, along with like Leatherface and a few more that I can think of, but like bands like Hot Water Music and all these, like, they spawned this whole genre of music basically.
Yeah, and I think there's a Jawbreaker and Bad Religion. They're completely different bands, but they're kind of in that same thing where you can listen to punk rock, and whether it's political discourse or whether it's just really good writing, it's not bad to have an interest in literature. But yeah, that's one of the things I loved about them. And kind of with the Weaker Thans too. John, you were on that one too, but it's kind of the same thing. To me, it's kind of in that same category.
Oh, yeah, Weaker Thans used to cover a Jawbreaker song.
Interesting.
Really? Which one?
Boat Dreams from the Hill.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our final panel member. Elena, talk to me about Jawbreaker. What is it about Jawbreaker? What brings you here today?
I mean, I think it's the same, really. I mean, I discovered them, I'd say, like, not necessarily early 90s, but like midway through like my art school days. And it's like the guys are saying, I mean, for any punk rock kid, it's like they were just on the roster because they were kind of almost like, anybody that talks about their introductions to punk that are in our age range, I would say will always reference Green Day as being an influence. And you know, at that time when, you know, all these bands were like, we're not signing to a major, it's such a sellout type thing, Green Day was like, fuck it. And they signed to a major label. And I think the hope was that, you know, Jawbreaker was kind of the band that was going to bridge all of those bands, you know, not just Green Day being like this, you know, band out of California that made it big, but they had all the potential to kind of bridge what was happening in the grunge scene and the punk scene, because their sound was so different. You know what I mean? And so I don't know, but personally, I mean, I can't lie. I discovered them after a horrible breakup. And 24-hour revenge therapy was literally that for me. It was like a soundtrack for like a shitty ass breakup with a long-term boyfriend. And it just, every track on that record just spoke to my soul at that time. You know, my 20-year-old, you know, dramatic art school self. It was like, that was the band for me. So, and at that time they had broken up. So I didn't get to see them at the height of their career, but I will tell you, over the last year when they got back together, I did see them at the Norva in Virginia, in Norfolk, and blew my 20-year-old self's mind. Like, I was so happy and so pumped to be there. And that whole night, it was so evident that they were and are still such an underrated band for all of those bands at that time. Like the guys are mentioning too, like, you know, Bad Religion's still a staple, NoFX is still a staple, but Jawbreaker, I don't know, man, like they just never got the credit that they were due. So I've been a long time fan, and I'm super pumped to be talking about them tonight, because for anybody that hasn't heard them, it's definitely a band that should be on rotation at some point. So
to that point,
yeah,
like, I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
I was gonna piggyback on that. Like, it's, you try to remember, like 1994, 1995. Them signing to a major label was a huge deal.
yeah.
Like, because they always said on stage, you can go on YouTube and find videos of them on stage saying, we'll never sign, we'll never do it. Jawbreaker's not signing to a major label. And then they did, and like they toured with Nirvana. Like Kurt Cobain personally tapped them to open for Nirvana in '93 and '94, and like they were definitely groomed to be the next Green Day. Like they were gonna be that band, and it just didn't work out. But they were shunned and hated for that last record.
Yeah, and what's so crazy about that last record is it's a killer record, you know, like it's a really great record, but because of that time and them professing consistently, like, we'll never sign to a major, and then doing exactly that. I mean, any 90s kid, that was a thing, right? Like sellout, whatever. I mean, I was never that kid. I was like, fuck that shit. You want to give me $1 million to make a kick-ass record and like share your music? Have at it, man.
Oh,
like,
no, I was that kid.
Well, it's crazy because I mean, like, how many bands did we listen to, right? Like, especially punk bands. It was like DIY, you know, blah, blah, blah. But looking back on it now, I mean, you know, it's such a shame that was the case, that they did get so shunned, because especially someone like Billie Joe Armstrong. I mean, Green Day as a whole, I mean, they're a super talented band, you know, and like 3 chords, sure. But look at the records they've put out. Whether you love them or hate them, you can't deny that they're like a huge band, musically, like talent-wise, you name it. And so, you know, and Nirvana, come on.
Yeah, right.
Like, going on tour with a band like that at that time, for them to not have succeeded was just kind of bizarre, you know, so it was such a shame. But yeah, that's
it's almost like the punk rock version of like a Pinkerton scenario, where in retrospect, like 10, 15 years later, people listen back and they're like, oh, wait a minute, that was pretty good. Like, what were we thinking?
Right.
And like,
Yeah.
Dear
And
You
then they're
has kind
like,
of come around
Maladroit's okay somehow.
Yeah. I mean,
and yeah, Dear You spawned a whole other, like, that whole Dashboard Confessional, all that scene from the mid 2000s, like all that was based on Dear You.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy too. I mean, just speaking about Weezer, like Pinkerton's like my favorite record by them.
Yeah.
It's so
That's their
funny.
best
Right?
one.
Yeah, agreed. So good point. But yeah, it's so yeah, I think just like musicianship and lyrics, I mean, as a whole, they're just an incredible band, but they're one of those bands, like, it just gives me the feels, man. They're just a great band, and it's such a part of my 20s, you know. So it's cool to see that they're kind of back at it and getting the credit that's due almost.
Oh, yeah, you used to be able to tell who your friends were by what their favorite Jawbreaker records were. Like, I've had hour-long arguments based on whether Unfun or 24 Hour is better.
24-hour in my opinion, but just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah, me too. See, and here I thought this was going to be a fight. We're staying together for the kids.
I don't know. Unfun's pretty good on another listen that I did a couple.
Oh,
days
it
ago.
is. Yeah.
Unfun's
Oh, absolutely. But it's yeah. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into like the nuts and bolts here soon. Now, for me, as a new ear, like I'd heard the name Jawbreaker, God knows how many times, but it never made it to my ear. And even listening through, none of it sounded familiar enough. Like as far as the actual songs to like maybe I heard it on the radio or what have you. No, like this was all pretty brand new to me, other than familiarity with the name. So listening, my first impressions are very California, and not in a bad way either. Like we've already mentioned, like the Green Days, which like you guys are going to hate hearing this name, Blink-182. I'm a huge fan of Blink. I'm a huge fan of Green Day, and I can tell that they pulled from Jawbreaker. So hearing kind of where some of my favorites kind of drew from, even if they kind of came up together, it was really, really neat to hear. And yet again, I hate you guys because Jets to Brazil was a lot harder for me. Like the actual cuts, I was able to find the cuts a little easier with Jawbreaker, but like the really, really good stuff was like pulling effing teeth to get cut out. So on that note, John, what was it like putting your 20 together for this?
It was tough. I mean, this is one of the ones that when I sent you that big list last year, whenever it was, this was one of the ones that I had highlighted and starred and been like, that's going to be one of the big ones. So I had gone ahead and made a preliminary 20, just listing like my favorite songs, because like I really didn't need to go back and listen, but since we had some extra time, like I did go back and go through all the records, and just to make sure there wasn't something that stuck out months and months later. And I did go back and switch a couple of them, but basically it's the same list. I mean, I could have done this in 2003, and it probably would have been a lot of the same songs. That there's just so many classics that have to be there.
All right, so that's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. Now, Chris, what was it like putting your 20 together?
It wasn't really pulling teeth, and it's mostly just because I've listened to this band so many goddamn times over the last like 24 years. It's there's ones that like I made an overall list of 23, and there were songs that I considered unfuckwithable. So getting rid of 3 wasn't that hard, but it speaks more to the fact that there's 23 unfuckwithable songs for Jawbreaker more than it does just how many I had to pull out from it.
All right, so Elena, what was it like this time for your 20?
You know what? Like the last few times we recorded, it really wasn't that hard, but I admittedly, as much as I love the band, they're not on heavy rotation for me these days. So it was actually kind of amazing to go through and listen to this stuff, because there's like a few songs like Unfun. I mean, I've got on mixes, I've got a lot of stuff off of 24-Hour Revenge Therapy, but like as far as Dear You and then etc., like it was more of like I really had to sit with it and kind of like sit with it again and again, just to kind of be like, okay, yeah, maybe. So it was a little bit harder, admittedly, to kind of dwindle down to a 20. But that's only because the other bands that I've sat in on panels, that's stuff that I'm like constantly listening to. So it was easier to pull from. But it was really cool, man. It was a definite throwback. And I'm sure like the other guys, like when I listen to them, it's still, and especially when I saw them live, it's just such a teleportation back to that time in my life, which to me is such an amazing testament to a band. Like it still holds up. If you were to throw that on the radio now, it would still hold up. And I guarantee with them touring now, I'm in my 40s. So if my son was a bit older, I would have brought him to the show. You know what I mean? Yeah. And introduced him to that band. So I think that there's probably a lot of parents that were at that show that have probably introduced their children to the band as well. So it's like, at this point, like a lot of bands that we know and love, multi-generation of listeners. So it's kind of cool to revisit, and I'm always, getting my kids I'm like, listen to this band. Do you know who this is? Like, what do you think? I've not let him listen to this particular band, to Jawbreaker, just yet, but he's listened to like Green Day and other kind of stuff, and he's a huge Against Me fan, which I'm very proud of.
Nice.
But yeah, so it was a little bit harder to dwindle it down, but I've got a good list. I think it's a good list for anybody who has not listened to the band before. So yeah.
Well, real quick, if I could, we should mention it's such a huge deal that they got back together, because they started playing again, or they announced it in 2017, and there was always like, we're never getting back together. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. There was even a pop punk band called Jawbreaker Reunion. It was these three girls that they were just trying to capitalize on the hype. Like, you put that on a flyer, Jawbreaker Reunion. People are like, what? But when they finally got back together, it was like, holy shit, they're going to do it. Yeah. And I haven't gotten a chance to see them yet. I'm very jealous that you did, Elena, but I'm really hoping that they're going to come down here and play before they break up again.
Well, I was going to tell you real quick what's so funny about that show. I think I bought tickets. Or no, I didn't buy tickets. I won tickets from a local bookshop called AFK Books in Virginia Beach. And I was about to buy tickets, and I got a call, and they're like, you won 2 Jawbreaker tickets. I was like, get the fuck out of here. No way. So I don't know what the deal was. Like, truthfully, I can't remember if the show had sold out and I didn't get tickets, or I just didn't buy tickets, or I'd won them, or whatever. But I'm still like that hardcore kid. Like, I still sign up for like ticket giveaways. I've won tickets off the radio, like driving to work. I'm like
622-9696.
Hopefully they'll make it back here for sure, because everybody should see them. They're really great.
Oh yeah, I kind of lucked out with when Riot Fest happened. I had the time off in September, so when they announced it, I was like, oh fuck. So I mean, right after they announced it and they released this, I think it was the second wave of bands, I went ahead and just, I booked a hotel room, got a flight, and then like arranged all the transportation within like 2 days. But that was I mean, one, it was fun to spend time in Chicago, but I'll send a picture when we do this stuff at the end of that I just took right before they started playing. That I'm not in the picture, but which is like all of my fucking pictures for this. But just holding my phone up and taking a picture backwards, and it went about 3/4 of a mile back, and it was just shoulder to shoulder the whole fucking time. Yeah. And I saw him at that show at the Norva. And that was a decent one, but it's after having been in Chicago, like they were so tight, you could tell they were obsessing about how they were playing. But oh my God, that was one of the funnest nights of my life, and it was by my goddamn self. So awesome.
I was at the Norva show by myself, so I don't feel bad, man. But it was such a community. Like, it was amazing to be at that show, because it was truly like everybody that was there that I had talked to were all of the same age range, and it was just like. Yeah, it was like being back in college at a show where everybody was there for the same reason. It was a good vibe. It was good energy. It was just great. But I can imagine Chicago, like, Jesus, that would be amazing, because that was a great lineup too. I mean, it was a great lineup that day. Oh,
fuck yeah. I got to see Cap and Jazz the same day.
Right?
It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's a blast from the past too. Like, that's incredible. Yeah.
So for my 20, John,
shut up, Justin. You're not even here.
For my 20,
poor Justin.
No, man, this is what the show is about. People always mistake the show as like it's about the list, and the list is the byproduct of our conversation. To me, this is what the show is about. People confessing their love for a band and talking about how great they are. But that being said, we do have to make a list here. So, my 20. John, like as we have a chat group for every band, and he asked me, hey, which albums are you into the most? And at the time, it was before I had listened to 24 Hour Revenge Therapy, and it was after I just finished Bivouac, and so I had said, oh, it's etc. in this one, and first of all, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I when I went back through, because I pulled 47 songs after my first pass, and when I went back through, I was like, holy fuck, Dear You is good. I don't think anything got cut that made it through my first pass on Dear You. So like when we did Jets to Brazil the other day, and I said "Dear You" accidentally, I was telling on myself because holy fuck, "Dear You" is great. And then the same thing happened to me with 24 Hour. I went back through it and I'm like, I don't know that I can cut any of this. Like this is all great. Now I found cuts from all the other albums and I was like, okay, well, this is just what we're going to go with. So I'm a little heavy on those two records and I've got stuff from the other ones. That being said, the name of the game is Deprogrammed. We've each listened to the discography of Jawbreaker and plucked out 20 songs that we're now going to mash together in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you for Jawbreaker, so you can get into them in case you're like me and didn't before this. And I think I'm going to start here. Since I just professed my love for Dear You, I'm going to start on Dear You. Save Your Generation.
I did not have that one.
I do.
Nope, I do not.
Okay, well, two of us got it. Goes to the conversation. Whew, okay. All right, John?
All right. If you're going to start in Dear You, I'm going to start on the other end. And let's go with See Through Skin from Unfun.
I've got that one.
I have it.
Okay, so I don't. Wait, where is it? There it is. There it is. So 3 out of 4? Okay. That's really good on a 4-person panel. All right, Chris?
Let me see. You know, on Sunday when we were talking about the importance of the rhythm section for some of the Jets to Brazil songs, I'm going straight back to the rhythm section one with Parabola.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. I do not have that.
Good Lord, that bass. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's what they closed with at Chicago. And the last song started, and I was like, you know, it's like a mile and a half back to the fucking tee. So I just started walking, and then like I heard that line, or the opening bass line stuff. I was like, motherfucker! So I had to stay in like the third row from the front, like just getting slammed. And then like I don't know how the fuck I made it back to my hotel.
Oh yeah, when the song breaks, like when there's that little gap in it, when it's one of the best things ever. And Bivouac's a tough listen. Like it's a challenging record at some places. Like it's not as friendly on the ears as some of the later ones, but that song stands out for sure.
Yeah, it's not as accessible, but man, the payoffs are there. You just got to put in a little effort.
Yeah.
All right, that's 3 out of 4 too. Elena?
I'm just gonna start with the obvious, Want off of Unfun.
I got it.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean,
that's in. That's in.
I mean, the bass line alone, right? It's just such a, I mean, my God, that was probably the first Jawbreaker song I ever heard.
It's
And,
iconic.
Like, yeah, I mean, like anybody who's ever been like, yeah, that was, you know, the band for me. I mean, that song's definitely a part of like the, you know, the list. So cool.
It's the only like the only other answer we got besides Want was the entirety of 24-Hour Revenge Therapy. Like somebody said that album. So we only got two answers.
Valid.
Yeah. So
I tend to agree, but I think as like a grown-up self-ish self, going back and revisiting, I definitely, I think my ear is a little bit different than it was back then. So some of the tracks that I have on my list are, you know, they're a little bit more diverse than they would have been back in the day. So.
Yeah.
all right, let me I guess I'm gonna go here. We just brought up 24-Hour Revenge Therapy, so I'm gonna go there. How about a Boxcar?
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
4. All
And
right.
I debated dropping that off just as a fuck you to myself.
What? What?
I mean, that's the. I mean,
It's kind
I
of
would
the hit.
argue.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I would argue that is the one song that they're known for more than Want. And I mean, they even did that kind of re-recording of it that they released on the extended version of Dear You that they came out with, or that Black Ball put out, which I would still prefer the 24-Hour Revenge Therapy one. Like, it just sounds a little bit more raw to me. But yeah, great song regardless. But I was like, well, that's what everybody wants. Like, that's kind of the fucking point. So,
Well,
like,
Have
also
you heard the Mountain Goats version, Chris?
oh, the one that they did at
AV Club?
AV Club? Yeah. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
Mountain Goats are so good, by the way. And Boxcar, I've heard loads of bands do covers of that song. So yeah.
I think it's because
my
it's
old
the
band used
easiest
to
one
cover
to
it.
do. Yeah.
Oh,
What's that?
My old band covered it.
Yeah. I mean, so how many bands didn't, right?
hey, I didn't, but I'm also the worst. So, all right, we got two in. That's really good for a 4-person panel. John.
Okay. Chesterfield King.
I have it.
Yep.
Which album is that?
Bivouac.
Bivouac.
Nope. But 3 out of 4. So it goes into the conversation. All right. Chris?
I'm gonna take it to Dear You, and this one is my favorite Jawbreaker song ever. Chemistry.
The rule is never ever do that.
What?
I got your back, Chris. I got it.
Goddamn right. How the fuck do you
mine.
not have chemistry? Oh
That
my
is
God.
that is my favorite song on Dear You.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it, but I'm pretty sure that was on my first pass. Was that a no from you as well, Elena?
That was a no for me.
Okay, so it's 2, but it still makes the conversation. So, all right, Elena.
Okay. I'm gonna stick to Dear You. Or actually, that was Bivouac, wasn't it? Well, I don't know what record that was. Sorry.
That was Dear You. Yeah.
Dear You. I'm gonna say, because it speaks to my 20-year-old self, Jet Black off of Dear You.
Fuck yeah. Christopher Walken.
Right.
I don't have it.
I do not have that one.
Okay, but it gets 2, so it still goes over to the conversation. All right, let me trot out an unfun song here. How about Driven?
I don't have that one.
Into the into the trash it goes. Wow.
Good song though. That was a close one.
All right, John.
Let's stick with unfun and go Gutless.
Mm.
I don't have that one.
Yeah, me neither.
I do have that one.
Yay!
All right. If I had to guess, I'd say that one was song 21. But all right, that's 2, so it moves to the conversation. All right, Chris.
I'm gonna go off of Dear You again. So back in like the early 2000s, I was in a admittedly bad band called Life Defined, and there was this band that used to come down from Southern California a lot named Counterfeit, and we'd always end up playing with them. And they ended up debuting a cover that they were going to be on when the Bad Scene Everyone's Fault tribute record came out, and the song they did was Million.
I don't have that one.
Nope.
You motherfucker.
Where do you live, by the way? Because I remember that.
Oh yeah, I'm well, right now I live kind of near Janif.
Oh, you're in Virginia.
Yeah. No, I grew up in
okay.
Virginia Beach. I live in Norfolk now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't need specific. I was like, I thought you were in another state.
Oh no. I haven't gotten out yet.
All right, Elena.
Well, to that, Bad Scene, Everyone's Fault off of Dear You.
I got
Got that one.
Yeah, that's such a good
Nope.
So,
I love
Not that one.
so we got 3 though.
thing. What's that?
That was 3 of us have it though.
I think 2.
I did.
I did not.
All right. So wait, was that a yes or no, Chris?
Oh, I'm a yes.
Okay, so
Oh.
3. All right, 3 out of 4, and we're
And you know, that song, like to me, it feels like that was gonna be like if Dear You would have come out like immediately after 24-hour Revenge Therapy. I feel like that would have been the boxcar, like that for the next series of albums that they were gonna put out.
It's the closest they get to Green Day, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's the closest to that sound. Everything else
Mhm.
on the record just doesn't. It sounds a little bit different, right? Like that track though is probably the most radio friendly track on the record. Yeah, for sure.
And with that, we are officially out of NTP. Nothing's coming out of the trash. Poor John. I know he was hoping.
I think we're doing good so far. We'll have to see what happens.
I still don't know what NTP means.
So I stopped saying it because Jody would get mad every time I did, but it stands for New Trash Protocol.
Yeah.
Which is a great band name if anyone out there is looking for a band name.
Yeah.
So on the Jimmy Eat World episode, we didn't get 10 all the way through between the unanimous and the conversation. There was only like 8 or 9, I think. So we had to pull songs out of the trash. And I was like, okay, that can't ever happen again. I need a protocol for if that happens. And so we came up with the new trash protocol.
We used it on Sonic Youth, right?
Yeah, we did. I think it's only been used twice.
Well, of course that's going to happen. It's fucking Sonic Youth. Like, it's the only band that I've ever seen where people were wearing a backpack, crying, and writing in a journal in the front row. Like, and
well, you need to go to more shows, my friend.
Yeah, well, this is like 24-year-old Chris, where I just want to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? If you're that bummed about this shit, get the fuck out.
Dude,
Jesus.
that's so funny. That was not my experience seeing Sonic Youth, but that's quite the story.
Yeah,
wow.
not mine either. I had a great time at Sonic Youth, but
Yeah.
all right, hold on one second. So back to me, right? I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Bad Scene Everyone's Fault was Elena. All right, so back to me. How about, let's go to 24-hour revenge therapy. Ashtray Monument.
Oh,
Yep.
I cut that one.
I have it. One of the classics.
All right, so
That's a good song.
we got 3 there. All right, I'm into it. All right, John?
All right. I'm looking at a few here. Let's stick with 24-hour and do Jinx Removing.
I have it.
Okay, hold on. I don't think I do. Let's see. Nope. No, I do not. But 3. All
I'd
right.
like to add that the live recording of that I prefer to the actual album recording.
Rabbit.
Damn right. Well, not yet. We still got 7 days?
Right. Depending on when this comes out.
That's a good point.
This will be out, not because Jets to Brazil will be this Thursday, and this will be July 2nd, I think.
Perfect.
Close enough.
Yeah, not the coming not the coming Thursday, the Thursday after. Sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at once because I forgot to make copies of the list. I shared the stupid screen with you guys, and then I wasn't keeping up with it.
I know.
I like whatever list says sketchy ideas.
Oh.
I'll
Yeah.
just keep it on paper.
It's
so
just a
that's easy.
series of dick pics and one picture of a duck.
Of course. Clearly. All right.
Interesting.
All right. So I put that song out there, right? I put the last one out there.
I did Jinx Removing.
That's right. Okay, so it's Chris's turn.
I'm gonna go back to Dear You, and one of my favorite guitar tones during a build-up ever, even though it's a sad bastard song. I'm gonna go with Accident Prone.
Yes. I have it.
Yeah.
That's
I do
a
too.
no for me. Mm-mm.
Okay, but that's 3. There's a local band around here. I don't know if they got it from this, but called Accident Prone from Virginia
I
Beach.
bet they did. I've never heard them. They could be really good. Yeah.
There's a good cover of this too. I think it's Julian Baker does a
I heard
piano
that. Yeah,
cover
yeah,
of
yeah.
this. Oh,
That
it's
was
so
gorgeous.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have lots to talk about so I can catch up on, that'd be cool. It's up to you.
Like Chris, what is with all the Dear You songs, man?
Yeah. It's my favorite album by them, and it's close for me. It's by no means 24-hour revenge therapy is brilliant. Unfun, I dig most of. But yeah, it's all about the whole the feels, the stuff that I remember from my youth that stuck.
Yeah.
How old are you?
38.
Okay.
Oh wow.
You're not that much younger than me.
Here's your $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so crazy to me. That Dear You would be someone's favorite Jawbreaker record. I grew up on it was either 24-hour or Unfun, and that was it. You would have been. There was a chance you would have gotten punched in the face for saying "Dear You" was your
Wow.
favorite Jawbreaker record.
Really?
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, I also didn't have many friends, so
That could be why. I mean, I don't want to speculate, but
Oh man.
that
Dude,
might
that's-
explain a lot.
Before we move on to Elena here, I need to know why is that? What was it about?
It was the sellout record. It was the glossy, polished major label, like we're trying to be popular and trying to make money record. It didn't, like, he had throat surgery, I think, before that record, so his voice sounded different. They spent like a month doing guitars or something. It was just at the time it was the epitome of excess. Like, oh, they sold out, fuck them, you know.
So coming
They don't need 12 guitar tracks on one part, but yet it fucking worked.
So coming back to it, do you have like a different thought on the album now,
I
John?
mean, I've come around on it a little bit, but it will never be my favorite one.
Okay. Well, I was just yeah.
Purely on principle.
Sorry, that was just interesting that it would get that kind of reaction to me. So, all right. I believe that moves us to Elena, correct?
I think so. I'm gonna say softcore off of Dear You.
How are you finding
I
all
thought
the
that was unfun.
Is it unfun?
Yeah.
I'm dyslexic, so let me tell you, when I make lists, don't ever. Well, anyway.
I do not have softcore, but I love that song.
Okay, well that's
Yeah,
the song.
same here.
Same.
That is unfun. I was copy and pasting also, so forgive.
All right. So
When he does that scream, like, killing my softcore, and like, it's so good.
All right. Well, since we mentioned this song earlier, I'll bring it up again. The Boat Dreams from the Hill.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. 3.
Going into the chorus of that at the Chicago show,
Ugh.
like just that drum roll going right into the stop, and it kind of snaps, and like all the energy got sucked out and then blown up in our face at the same time. Like, oh god, it was such an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good song.
All right. John?
All right. I'm looking at a few here on my list still that are up there amongst my favorites. This one's another classic. Let's go back to Unfun. Say Busy.
Hold on.
I had that, but I cut it. That's a good track.
Yeah, that was my last cut.
Save me, Justin.
Nope, I don't have it.
Nobody had Busy.
Nope.
Oh, you guys are killing me.
It was number 21.
Which is always helpful. I do it all the time, but it's never helpful. It never helps the sting. All right, Chris?
Let me go to Do You Still Hate Me?
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that an answer, or is that...
Are you talking to me? That's like the track for me. Like, as far as like an introduction, if I were to ever hand anyone like a mixtape of Jawbreaker, I'd be like, this is the song. Because that track for me is like the ultimate throwback to that horrible breakup I was talking about. And it was like a big old fuck you. So I love that song. I love that song till the day I die. It's a great song. So
there's like that guitar lead right at the beginning. Because the beginning sounds kind of empty because there isn't like 4 guitar tracks behind it, but that wiry kind of lead going in, I love shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's like it pokes you in the
Justin,
face.
you had that one too?
Yep. I'm really proud of the fact that we have 4 unanimous on a 4-person panel. Like, and not much.
I don't think it's ever happened in the time that we've recorded anything, Justin.
Not much trash either. Like, it's all this is going swimmingly, except for that one song
Only
for John.
Busy in the trash.
Let it go.
Poor John.
I'm blaming Chris because I've had his back and he didn't have my back on that one.
Man, I got you. I can't. Man, I got you. I promise.
All right, Elena.
I'm gonna stick with 24-hour revenge therapy. Friends Back East.
Okay, so I have the etc. version of that.
Okay.
It's the same.
Yeah. Does it count?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, cool.
I don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have Friends Back East. It's great. It just didn't make the classic level.
All right, so it goes into the conversation. All right, back to me. Let me trot out my. No, let me try out another Bivouac one. P.S. New York is burning.
I cut that one too.
I got that one.
I do not have it.
All right, so 2. It goes into the conversation. All right, John.
All right, let's stay on Bivouac and go with Shield Your Eyes.
Uh,
One of the best openings of a song of all time.
I don't have that.
I don't have it either.
Hey, John.
Chris.
I got you, dog.
Nice. Finally.
You guys are ridiculous.
Oh boy. All right. Chris.
Let's see. The fuck Star Wars song, Sluttering.
Mm.
You know, that one made it through my first pass, but I don't know what it was that I didn't pull it through the second time through.
Yeah, I don't have Sluttering. Just you have way too many Dear You songs, man.
Man,
I only have 2 on my list, and I already got you on both of them, so I'm out on that one.
I don't have it on my list as well.
that's fine.
Into the trash. Into the trash. All right, Elena.
So also off of Bivouac, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Peel It the Fuck Down.
I think there's.
I don't have that one.
I don't either. I think there's 2 versions of it too. I think there's one on Etc. as well.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
I don't have either. So
You know what's so crazy? Of all the records to not have on vinyl, I don't have 24-hour Revenge Therapy, but I have Bivouac and I have Unfun, which is insane. And it's like a first generation recording of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, because the CD of Bivouac adds those songs from the Chesterfield King EP,
Mm-hmm.
and throws them in randomly in the middle. It's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Let me stay on Bivouac then. How about Pack It Up?
I
No.
don't have that one.
Nope.
Okay. That's about right. We're about right there. All right, John.
All right, let's see if we can hit on one. Let's go with Kiss the Bottle.
Oh man, that was an oversight on my part. That's a classic, but
Yeah.
I don't have it. No.
I feel like that one was on my first pass, but it didn't make my second one.
I got you, John.
Nice.
Oh,
I feel
Yeah,
like it's romance.
Kiss the Bottle is an absolute classic. It's the last one they recorded before he had the throat surgery, so his voice is just shredded.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere, I can't take credit for this, but someone called it the best. It's a shame that Johnny Cash never got to do it on one of his reunion albums before he died.
Shit. Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Yeah,
But it kind of sounded like Blake doing a Tom Waits impression, but
because his voice was just destroyed, man.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
if he was doing Singapore from Rain Dogs, if Blake was doing that, that's what it would sound like.
And I think the Foo Fighters covered it. That their guitar player,
Yeah,
the kid from No Use for a Name,
Chris
covered it
Schiff.
because Jawbreaker's his favorite band or something, but that version's terrible. Don't listen to the Foo Fighters version.
okay.
I know it exists, but I refuse to listen to it.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's not good.
Interesting. All right, Chris.
Fuck. All right. Do I have any more before I finish out on all my fucking Dear You bullshit? Because there's more. I'm gonna do this because who the fuck lists a 10-minute song on a top 20? I'm gonna go with the song Bivouac.
I do not have that one.
I do not have it.
Chris,
Huh?
I got you.
Goddamn
Oh.
right.
Oh,
I love that song.
Let's-
That song.
One for all the guys with the long attention spans.
Oh, when he shouts it at the end and
Yeah.
everything explodes at the end. It's one of my favorite moments on that record.
Fuck yeah, man.
interesting. All right, Elena.
I have Donatello off of Bivouac.
I do not have that one.
Nope.
Me either, but that's my favorite Ninja Turtle.
Mine too, because he does machines.
Because he was the smart guy.
Yeah. Who wants the dumb ones?
Oh, you guys.
All right, let me close out Bivouac. This is my last one. Face Down.
Nope.
No.
No.
Okay. Trash. All right.
Like I said, Bivouac's a tough record.
It is, and I managed to pull through 4, I think, from that one. So, all right, John.
Back to me. Let's stick with the B-sides and let's go Sea Green Foam.
I do have that.
I don't.
I didn't, but that was an oversight.
All right. Well, it goes into the conversation, though.
Yep.
Nice.
We have got a hell of a conversation ahead of us. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much. It's getting long. That list is getting long. All right. Let me put that there. And that takes us to Chris.
Let's see. How many more do I have that aren't Dear You? All right, so you had mentioned this song earlier, John. I'm gonna go with Outpatient. Or the song about him getting surgery, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
Damn.
I don't have it.
Nor do I. Trash. It's in the trash. All right, Elena.
First Step Outtake off of 24 Hour.
Yeah, I got it.
Nice.
Oh, I don't have that one, but I'm glad you guys do because that's a great one.
That it is.
I was trying to figure out because it mentions outtake. I wanted to discredit it for that, but then when I kept listening to it, I was like, no, but it's good. It belongs in this conversation. So I'm glad somebody else had it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that takes me down to my last 5. Maybe one more round and then we'll clear them out.
Sure.
All right, how about House Sitter?
Nope.
No.
No.
All right. John.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not up there with the classics. How about Condition Oakland?
Oh, God. I love that one, but it didn't make it.
Yeah, I neither. That's
I
all.
didn't have that one.
Yeah.
All right. Chris?
I'm gonna go with I Love You So Much It's Killing Us Both.
Yep.
No.
Okay.
No. Damn it.
And you've angered John by bringing more Dear You into the conversation.
I'm
going to tell you right now, we're cutting all of these when we get to the conversation. None of maybe one, but I'm going to have a hard limit of 1 on Dear You songs getting into this top 10.
All right. Elena.
All right. Big off of Bivouac.
Nope. I'm out.
That was my number 21, but I don't have it.
I don't have that one.
That was a late cut for me. I want to say 30, but all right. So I got 3 left. I'll clear them out and see if I can find you guys on them. My last 3. Down.
Nope.
No.
Fireman.
I got it.
No. That's a good track. Damn.
A good video too.
Yeah.
My bass player Dave, for years, swore up and down that the opening lyrics were "Dino was a fireman." I don't know who the fuck this Dino guy is.
Who's this Dino character? All right, and last but not least, my last song is "Better Half."
No.
No, great song though.
All right, into the trash. All right, John, you want to clear it out?
All I have left is Lawn and the second best song with this name in it, Caroline.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody...
The first one isn't Sweet Caroline, is it?
Caroline, no.
All right, so did anybody have Lawn?
No.
And then Caroline.
Also a no.
All right. You want to clear out what you got left, Chris?
Sure. I got Basilica and then
Shocking.
Like a Secret.
Basilica.
And then
Another
Like a
Dear You
Secret.
song.
What was the last one, Chris?
Like a Secret.
Okay, there it is. All right. And Elena, what you got left?
I have 2 left. So I have Wound off of Dear You, and then Equalized off the Etc. album.
Oh, I love Equalized, but I went with Caroline instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't have any of those.
All right. There we go. All right. So the 4 in: Want, Boxcar, The Boat Dreams from the Hill, and Do You Still Hate Me? So those are all in unanimously. here's what we got. Let's see. I'm trying to think of where the threes stop. I think the threes stop with Chemistry, right? All right. So See Through Skin. Here, let me go on this one. See Through Skin, Parabola, Chesterfield King, Bad Scene, Everyone's Fault, Accident Prone, Jinx Removing, Ashtray Monument, and Chemistry. Those are all the threes. And then Savior Generation, Jet Black, Gutless, P.S. New York is Burning, Shield Your Eyes, Kiss the Bottle, Bivouac, Seafoam Green, First Step, Outtake, and Fireman. That's everything. So.
That's going to be hard to cut.
All right, so John really doesn't want a lot of Dear You. So let's start cutting some Dear You songs that we feel like we can kind of get rid of at this point. Is there any of the Dear You songs what's the most acceptable one for you, John?
Either Chemistry or Accident Prone.
Okay, so let me move Chemistry up here right next to Accident Prone. All right, so of the ones that are left, Bad Scene, Everyone's Fault, Savior Generation, Jet Black, and Fireman. Let's get rid of...
Trash them.
Hush your mouths. Goodness.
There's so many bad... Chesterfield King, Jinx Removing, Ashtray Monument, Kiss the Bottle, Bivouac, Gutless. Like...
Jet, I would say I'm gonna fight for Jet Black, because I tell you what, like that at least one song. I mean, I can name a handful of people that was like a defining song for them, for that band.
All right.
Plus, it's got Christopher Walken.
Right, dude, come on.
So are of the songs that John
should have been a Jets to Brazil song.
That's true.
That's fair. But it's not, so.
of those other four songs, Chris, are there any that you're willing to let go of at this point? Bad Scene, Everyone's Fault, or let's say three. I'm going to leave Jet Black in the conversation for now, since Elena wants to go to bat for it. Of Bad Scene, Everyone's Fault, Savior Generation, and Fireman, which one do you think we can get rid of?
I think we could get rid of Savior Generation and Fireman.
Okay. Let's do that.
Is I Love You So Much It's Killing Us Both in the conversation too?
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be. You're right.
That's what it's doing, getting rid of these songs. It's killing me, Kyle.
I forgot to add it over there.
You're 40. It's probably cholesterol.
Speak for yourself.
I am.
All right. So does that stay though? I Love You So Much It's Killing Us Both.
I'd be fine letting that one go.
Okay.
I'd be okay letting it go.
All right. Let's let it go then. Let it go. All right.
Stop.
I'm proud of y'all.
All right.
I am going to argue that we need two off of Dear You, though. And hear me out.
Whew.
Yeah, I know. So Accident Prone, iconic guitar line. It's got a really like slick but fucking like tight bass line during the verse. Lyrically, amazing. Chemistry, one of the coolest lines ever. You know, my air guitar is out of tune. My stupid hair is so 82 to you. Fucking yeah. But I would argue for both of those. I feel it bounces the sadness.
Do I need to start quoting lines off of Ashtray Monument or Chesterfield King or
if you want
Kiss the Bottle, like Shield Your Eyes?
Yeah, I would take Chemistry over most of those songs.
Whew.
Yeah, I know. But you got to remember, with Dear You, we're starting from a place of weakness. If we're thinking about representation, which I normally don't, but like, I don't know, like it's Dear You becoming a classic and influencing so much stuff after. Yeah,
so
it's
much
got to
terrible
count for
stuff.
something. Yeah, but some amazing stuff too.
But I also have to say, like, when I came back, Dear You didn't make a very good first impression on me, but when I came back to it, I couldn't cut any of it. So take that for what you will as a new ear. I'm just saying.
That says a lot, though, Justin. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that says a lot. Because what I was just thinking of, too, is, I mean, we have such emotional attachment to these records. So to have someone come in who's never really listened to the band, that's why most everything that I've recorded with you, it's kind of a first time hearing
yep.
the band. And I, like, just as an individual, I get super pumped. Like, if it's a band you've never heard before that I've listened to for like 20 plus years, I mean, that's so exciting to me. So it's super amazing to hear your take on it. In addition to, the diehard fans as well.
So, and it also sounds, though, to me at this point, that we can probably lose Bad Scene because it's not getting any love. I feel like the conversation is Accident Prone Chemistry, Jet Black. I feel like those are the ones that people have gone to bat for.
I can live with that.
So let's lose Bad Scene, and then we'll come back to these. All right.
Can we talk about something besides Dear You for a few minutes?
That's what I'm saying.
We gotta like fluff them with some 24-hour stuff real quick.
Well, not even that, man. Like, okay, there's at least 2 here. There's probably 4, but I'm only gonna bring up 2 right now that if they're not on this list, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. And that's Chesterfield King and Kiss the Bottle.
All right. So Chesterfield King, I believe, didn't all 3 of you have?
Yes.
So if I'm the holdout on that, let's bump that through. And what was the other one? Kiss the Bottle. Was that a 2 or 3?
2.
2. Okay. So I was one of the holdouts on that, but I know it was on my radar.
Was that one of the oversight ones that when you guys like would have had it or forgot or something?
Yeah, Kiss the Bottle for me. I mean, that was truly, truly an oversight, because I think if you were to ever introduce the band to anybody new,
hard to leave that one out.
Yeah, I would definitely leave that in.
All right, so let's put Kiss the Bottle in 2 then. So that gives us 6. All right, so now we want to start having the representation conversation, because we already have 3 from 24 Hour. There's still 3 remaining. Do we want any more from that album, or have we got it?
I think we need one more.
Okay, so that gives us Jinx Removing, Ashtray Monument, or First Step.
It's either Ashtray Monument or Jinx Removing, I think. One of those. I want to fight for both of them, but given the ones that we have, I will begrudgingly accept one of them.
All right, so Elena, you and I have...
I was going to say Sam. I'd say Jinx Removing definitely would be my one.
Okay.
I kind of want to fight for both of them too.
Yeah.
And it's when we talk about like that emotional tie we have for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one, I'm totally sick of people making Sophie's Choice arguments on this thing, but it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting in my recording studio, like angry that I can't go play my guitar right now that we're talking about this shit.
Well, let me point this out again. I don't know if this sways anybody, but I had Ashtray Monument. I didn't have Jinx Removing. I have no problem bumping one or the other through, but as the new year, Ashtray reached me, Jinx Removing did not. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Well, why don't we put in Ashtray but leave Jinx Removing to see what else we're kind of keeping?
That's fair.
Okay, so let's...
I'd be okay with that.
All right, let's pop Ashtray through. All right, so that gives us 7. All right, so now let's look at... We have 3 left. We've got 2... We have nothing from Bivouac. So... No, we have Chesterfield King. There we go. Do we need anything else from that record?
Shield Your Eyes is the only other one I would be willing to fight for. Bivouac is amazing, like the title track, but with it being so long, like I don't know that it...
It's a struggle if you're first time listener for sure.
But I'm looking at... We only have one off of Unfun. I'm looking at See Through Skin and Gutless, and at least one of those needs to get in, I think.
I would See Through Skin.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you guys all had that. I did not, so I will put that one through. See Through Skin. And that gives us 8. So now we're really getting to it. Do we want to go ahead and drop Seafoam Green at this point? It has not come up at all in conversation.
Ooh.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I know.
Just put it in the damn trash, Justin.
In the trash.
I abstain. I can't the word can't come from my mouth to get rid of it, so I abstain.
All right, so we
Part of the reason I didn't want to choose Boxcar was so we could use it as an emergency cut. But I did, and life is about consequences.
Yep. All right, so we have 2 left here. And so now we need to start thinking about, are we bringing through 2 from Dear You? Because if we do, then everything else has got to go.
I still want Jet Black on the list, but I'll compromise. Begrudgingly, but I will compromise.
All right, so we'll lose Jet Black here. All right, so it's down to Accident Prone and Chemistry from Dear You. Are those our final 2?
I would be okay with either of those.
Either? So you're only going to accept one?
For right now, yes.
Okay. So
I'll say
because I still want to fight for Parabola, Shield Your Eyes, and Jinx Removing.
Yeah, I still want to fight for Parabola and Jinx Removing. If we're going to only do one of the 2, I think that, and we're thinking about like listenability and the initial listen, I'd go with Chemistry because of the opening guitar line, in terms of something that can grab you.
all right.
That's just my thought.
I agree.
How do you feel about that, Elena?
I mean, Jinx Removing is definitely the track for me. But if that is the consensus, I'd be okay with that.
Well, we're not getting rid of Jinx Removing yet.
No. This is
Okay.
So this is putting Chemistry in.
Okay.
So the final 4. Parabola, Shield Your Eyes, Accident Prone, Jinx Removing.
Jinx Removing is definitely my pick then.
Ooh.
And I'm
Yeah, I
debating. I'm going between Jinx Removing and Parabola. Oh, man, that is rough.
Where are you leaning, John?
Jinx Removing.
Okay, so we have 2 for Jinx Removing. All right, I think we can safely lose Accident Prone and Shield Your Eyes at this point. Because
Justin, what do you think? Because you're just listening to us make decisions.
So I narrowed it down to Parabola and Jinx Removing because Parabola would have been my choice because that bass line, like you mentioned the story about you're getting ready to walk away and you heard it and you had to turn back around. It's like it's the one song that I can vividly hear in my head that in this entire conversation. Like I can vividly hear how it goes. So like I'm not saying it's my favorite. I'm just saying like it stuck out. So it really grabbed my attention of those 2.
It would be different than everything else we have.
So that comes into the play now too. And just for reference, we have Want, Boxcar, The Boat Dreams from the Hill, Do You Still Hate Me, Chesterfield King, Kiss the Bottle, Ashtray Monument, See-Through Skin, Chemistry. Also putting Parabola through would give a little bit more representation evenly. So just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like I said earlier, like I think it's amazing that this is kind of like a first time listen for you, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I'll defer to you in this case and set myself aside, and I'm okay with Parabola.
All right, let's do that then. Let's go with Parabola, and we'll lose Jinx Removing. All right,
day.
John.
No, it's a fine day.
It is. Do you want to?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to kill us, John?
Let's talk about that. How did no one play Fine Day? That's a great song.
It's unbelievable. Sometimes.
I mean, if it was,
Wait,
we can bring Busy back from the trash and talk about that.
So here's our 10. Want, Boxcar, The Boat Dreams from the Hill, Do You Still Hate Me, Chesterfield King, Kiss the Bottle, Ashtray Monument, See-Through Skin, Chemistry, and Parabola. John, which one is the one?
How long do I have?
Do you need a minute?
The floor is yours.
Do you want me to move to Chris and then come back?
I defer.
Okay. What are you thinking?
Fuck.
That's
all right. Give me the list one more time, but read it in like a sultry voice.
Want, Boxcar, The Boat Dreams from the Hill. Ridiculous. Do you still hate me?
It's ridiculous.
Chesterfield King. Kiss the Bottle. Ashtray Monument. See-Through Skin. Chemistry. Parabola. Parabola sounds
right.
like a Tool song.
If you could
Yeah.
never, ever, ever do that again, Justin.
Yeah. I apologize to the world. All right, so if I'm picking one, oh, God damn it. There's no right choice. There really isn't. All right, so you got to shoot the 9 ugly kids and keep the prettiest one. I'm going to go with the Boat Dreams from the Hill.
Ooh, okay. Elena?
God, that is hard. Damn, you guys. I was like, at first I was like, I know exactly which one. You know what? I'm honestly, if it's like a first time listen to suck people in, I'm just gonna say Want. I'm just
Okay.
gonna stick to that.
All right.
That would be like my number one.
All right.
Yeah,
John?
Want.
Those are both really good answers. I think Chesterfield King deserves discussion.
All right. So now it gets difficult. I was leaning towards Want and Boxcar. So Want in part because it was something that the listeners brought up. So like it's something that's kind of known. And Boxcar because apparently it's popular and I didn't know. So but I mean, like the fact that it stuck out tells me that, you know, it is popular. Like I should have known. So, so does anybody want to move their support to any of the other songs? Want the Boat Dreams from the Hill or Chesterfield King?
I'm pretty hard and fast on this one.
Want is a good choice. Like that was the beginning from Unfun. Like if that has to be it, I'm okay with it.
What about you, Chris?
God, there's the Jawbreaker side of me that wants to just say fuck the fans. You know, like, God damn. It's, you know, it's not like picking one over the other is really like just saying the other one's trash. I'll go with Want because it's the most accessible. I still say the Boat Dreams from the Hill is the better song, but first impression, give me the bass line, and you don't have to wait until 30 seconds in to enjoy it.
Yep. All right, we got it then. All right, Want is our number one with a bullet. The Boat Dreams from the Hill, Chesterfield King, Boxcar, Do You Still Hate Me, Kiss the Bottle. Do you guys still hate me for reading it the way I did before? Ashtray Monument.
I hated you before, too.
Here's your $2. See-Through Skin, Chemistry, and Parabola. How many dirty work references can I get in at the end of the show?
Jesus.
All right. So, I know there's like probably a million shows that Chris and John are going to do together, but Elena, I think, I know Taking Back Sunday is one of yours, right?
I hope so, because I love them.
I'm pretty sure it's like you and Ronald. So I keep wanting to go to them, but I think they have like 8 records. And so anytime I see 8, like it kind of puts me on pause, but they will be up soon, I'm sure. So.
Well, you know what I can say too? I'm friends with Eddie Reyes, who's not with the band anymore, but he was like a founding member and guitar player with them for years and years and years. So maybe we can get him in on the show somehow. Like I talk to him all the time. So he's a super rad dude.
Let me bounce this off you because we talked about this on ATF last time, but I talked to the former bass player from Superdrag, like after we did the Superdrag show.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk to him after the show and bounce the list off him.
Yeah,
see
I
what
think
he
that'd
thinks.
be amazing.
But it's always a fun conversation. So I say always. I did it the once.
Well, this will be hopefully the second.
Yeah.
So I'll reach out to him, and then whenever we get set to record, I'm sure he'll be on board. He's super rad.
Word up. That's awesome. All right. Well, you know, I hate breaking the fourth wall, but like things as they are, you're going to hear from us again if you're a patron. Hey, which by the way, if you want to hear the after the fact episode, patreon.com/ohhijustin. $1 a month gets you in the door, and you get all my Patreon exclusive content, which does include the after the fact conversations between all these panel members. We talk more afterwards. So with that being said, Jawbreaker, learn them and love them, people. We'll see you next week. Bye.